Hello everybody, Today is Thursday, October 12th, I believe. A few days after the U.S. played its qualifying World Cup match against Trinidad and Tobago. Obviously, for those of you that do follow soccer, as well as the U.S. national team, you should be aware by now that they lost 2-1 in Trinidad and failed to qualify for the for the World Cup. First time, I believe, since 1986 or something like that. So there is debates, there is conversations, there is all kinds of opinions about why this happened and how could it happen and all the good and bad of U.S. soccer. We're a big nation of millions of people, and we cannot produce a quality U.S. national team. All kinds of opinions, all kinds of ideas. Most of them, by the way, are negative. But one thing that is common is that there is no accountability for the players, for the coaching staff. Not like other sports. Also, a big thing in the discussions is the fact that the U.S. Soccer, the U.S. system, may not be possibly the best system the way it's currently set up. So, with all that being said, you know, a lot of it has its roots and it drives, and a lot of people are debating where does U.S. youth soccer, grassroots soccer, has its place in this whole mess. Okay, so basically, the way I feel about it is that after all these years of spending money into development, and you know, when I was 18, U.S. soccer was a joke. I mean, our goal was to basically try to qualify for a World Cup. But since those days in the early 80s, U.S. has qualified for World Cups consistently. They have gone past the preliminary rounds, and we were looking forward to finally having U.S. win a World Cup. However, as time progresses, again, my opinion, more and more systems are put in place all across the country that represent more of a money situation, money-making situation, than actually the benefit of the sport or the benefit of the athletes, the soccer players. Okay? Don't get me wrong. Personally, I am an owner of a full-time sport company. In particular, soccer is the niche. We train, teams. We train individuals. We do tournaments. We run a futsal league. We sell products online, sports products online, and we do a bunch of other things. But the passion has always been, for me personally, into the training. For those of you that do not know us, you can go ahead and Google us, SOCCERSKILLZ. You can compare the pricing that we charge. Our training is mostly done during the winter in a futsal environment, although we're slowly trying to educate people to train year-round in a futsal environment. So futsal right now is being thought as a winter sport, but it's not really. It's a year-round tool that can greatly benefit the development of a youth soccer player. It can be played in outdoor tennis courts, in outdoor basketball courts. So hopefully we'll get to a point that Americans, especially New Jerseyans, since I'm in New Jersey, will understand the fact that futsal is a game and a tool that can be played year-round and can benefit the development of a player year-round. But for now, as we try to get everybody to understand that, SOCCERSKILLZ offers a futsal program through the months of early November all the way to April, March. Okay? So, if you go online and you look and you look at the pricing, we try to cover the rentals that we have for the space that we get. We don't have a lot of trainers, simply because trainers want too much money. That's their livelihood. We try to find qualified trainers that see, the benefit in helping the youth soccer players and, bring awareness to the youth soccer community about futsal, and try to keep our prices low. As long as we cover our expenses. We're kind of happy with that. So, and compared to other outfits, again, our business model basically is making a living out of the sports industry by selling products to online products, athletic equipment. We do international tours to Europe, okay? We do a bunch of stuff, but the training is mostly done out of passion. This year, we're also going to be unrolling what I believe to be a first, at least in New Jersey. We're going to be rolling out the first futsal academy, which will basically be 100% free on the training side. Because we're a small company, we're just asking the players to basically pay their registration fee and a couple of dollars to buy a uniform. But all the training is done for free. We are going to be looking for, quality players to put this program into effect. But basically, it's going to be the equivalent to a quote-unquote outdoor academy. And when I use the term academy very loosely, because a lot of you guys out there, hear academy and it's like, wow, it must be, a high-level playing. In all fairness, okay, an academy, as long as you pay, they're a pre-academy. They're not an academy. So, although you're going to be paying for the registration and the uniforms, the training is going to be done 100% free. We're going to pick up the rental space. We're going to pick up the cost of the rental space. We're going to pick up the cost of the training, okay? But we're just asking for a little bit of help just to get us started for the first year or two with just the players basically playing the registration, where they're going to be playing in leagues and tournaments, as well as the a small fee for their uniforms. And just to keep that cost low, we're trying to get reasonable price uniforms just to make everything as affordable as possible. But it is going to be a academy scenario where the players will not be paying to train and learn the game of futsal. Our goal is to basically develop the players to a point where we can compete not only into the local, regional, national tournaments, but eventually start going overseas like Portugal, Spain, Italy, and play international futsal contests. Okay? So once again, the reason why I'm bringing this up is to show you that training is not only a passion of ours, but we want to make sure that everybody understands that pay-to-play system in the U.S. has a big hand into the national team. And why? Well, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of quality trainers. There's a lot of quality coaches with the best interest at heart of the soccer player. But it's their business to make money off training. And unfortunately, it happens over and over again. Without naming any particular outfit, there are parents that are being raped. You are being convinced to pay a check, to write a check, so your youth player can become a better soccer player. In all fairness, some of you guys, your children don't belong in that system. They're just not good enough to be in that system. However, they're telling you with the proper training and the proper development, your child could become that elite player. Here's something else. Academies, quote-unquote academies, paid outfits, are now recruiting players as young as 7 years old into a training program that you are paying for. So basically, they're telling you that as long as you pay, with the right training and development, your child could become an elite player. Although that could be true, the probability of that happening is not that high. Let's face it. One of my early coaches when I got my first licensing, and I will never forget that, always said, nature reshuffles its deck. That means that your 7-year-old kid that you think is a stud, your 7-year-old child that you think is phenomenal, could very well turn out to be just an average player by the time they're 12, 13, 14 years old. By that time, they could very well also drop out and not play soccer anymore. So if you put your child at that precious age of 7 into a paying academy, quote-unquote academy, okay, and you keep that player for the next 3-4 years, let's say at an average cost per full year, including training fees, uniforms, tournaments, traveling, lodging, all that good stuff, let's say it costs you a very modest $4,000. okay? Modest. Times 3 years, that's $12,000. Times 4 years, okay, that's $16,000. By the time they turn to be, again, 13, 14, they turn around and say, I don't want to play anymore. You just wasted your money. A lot of parents do that because they hope that, well, that's going to help them become a better player in order to secure or having a better chance of securing a college scholarship. Well, if you keep that child into the quote-unquote academy system and you deposit into that system 12, 15, $20,000, well, that's your deposit for a college education. Not to say that there's a lot of soccer players that by most standards, height-wise, skill-wise, are not supposed to play in soccer. As you may or may not know, but I'm also a college coach. I coach for Widener University in Pennsylvania. It's a Division III school. And on our team, which that's another video that I'm preparing, we actually have about 6 or 7 players on a roster of 25 that are between 5'1" and 5'4". Okay? Quality players, but don't have the height. And they're still playing. Their academics were intact, and they were able to secure a academic scholarship / a little bit of athletic assistance. But they are playing college soccer, Division III, and earning an education. So all this nonsense about pay to become a better soccer player, pay to get a better chance of going to to get a college education, it's in a lot of cases just that. It's just, nonsense. And you guys are being duped. You guys are being duped in writing checks, unnecessary checks. Once again, I'm not saying that my company doesn't charge to train. We are charging. But I challenge you to go and compare pricing and sit down and do the math, and you will see by the time we spend money for our rental facilities and to cover the cost of the trainers, there's not much left. We do it because we enjoy, the experience. I personally love to be part of your child's life, development life. I enjoy the lessons that soccer, the sport, has brought me in my life. I've been in the sport since I was born, basically. My dad was a professional goalkeeper. I was born into the sport, okay? So I want to pass my experience on the field and off the field. The life lessons that the sport has taught me, not just skills on the field, character skills, loyalty skills, friendship skills, fun skills, social skills. Those are great lessons. So why are we doing this conversation? Why am I standing in front of the camera and putting my thoughts? Guys, what happened to the U.S. youth national team has a lot to do with what's going on at this level, youth soccer. Has a lot to do with the 7-year-olds. Has a lot to do with the parents that are spending the money for no reason. If your child becomes at an age of 12, 13, 14 years old, and you see something there, and they really want to go into it, they really enjoy the sport, okay, maybe then you can spend some money. Maybe. Until then, be wise. Don't overspend. I'm not saying that you're not going to spend some money for training. Chances are you will, okay? I'm not saying that everybody's going to do free stuff. By the way, this year, SOCCERSKILLZ is doing a free futsal play program here in Jackson, New Jersey. It's going to start the first week of December. It's going to run all the way to April, something like that, I believe, okay? Where the children will come and they're just going to play. They're just going to play futsal. There's not going to be a lot of coaching or parent interference. There's not going to be a lot of coaching. They're just going to come and play like in the old days. In the old days where I grew up, and hey man, as long as there was a ball, as long as there was a space, we went to play. We loved playing soccer. We loved to watch the players on television or hear them on the radio in those days, because there weren't a lot of games being televised, and go outside and try to replicate those moves, okay? Everybody was a Ronaldo, a Messi, and they tried to recreate those moves. Backyard, soccer, playground soccer, whatever you want to call it. We just played. There was no grown-ups. There was no coaches. So we're trying to recreate that scenario. In America, there's way too much structured training. And unfortunately, most players will go to the structured training, but other than that, they will not touch the ball. Very rarely do they go outside and touch the ball. You're supposed to be able to touch the ball thousands of times per day in order to master it. You're supposed to do, in every skill, you're supposed to do it thousands of times in order to be able to master it. In America, we have a lot of choices. You got basketball, you got soccer, gymnastics, swimming, hip-hop. I don't know how many other activities, okay? Piano lessons, guitar lessons, whatever. The kids are being dragged from one activity to the other. There's times where kids come to us to train, and by the time they, by the time they get undressed and we say a couple things to them, they're yawning and they're out on their feet. And we ask them, little Joe, what's going on? It's 10 o'clock, man. What, you didn't sleep well last night? No, coach, I had 8 o'clock training, basketball training. Wow, so you went from basketball training to soccer training? Yeah, we actually had to rush to make it here. Really? Are we crazy? Are we crazy? Is our desire to succeed through our kids that important? Because that's what it is, folks. A lot of us have the desire to succeed, to accomplish through our kids what we were not able to accomplish. We live vicariously through our kids. Wake up, guys. Let the kids just play. Let them enjoy the sport. Way too many choices. Nothing we can do about that, I guess. Everybody wants a piece of the action. We want the piano money and the guitar money and the hip-hop money and the gymnastics money and the basketball money and the everybody wants money. Everybody's in it to make money. How about taking a step back and just let your child play? Little Joe, what do you like to do this year? Oh, Daddy, I love to do basketball. Great, you do basketball. Try basketball, see how you like it. Let him play basketball, and that's it. Daddy, I want to do gymnastics too. No, let's focus on basketball. Let's see how you like basketball. In the fall, in the spring, you can do gymnastics. You can do baseball. You can do something else. But try to stick into one activity at a time. They're kids. They want to try everything. Well, my friend Joe, okay, he's doing gymnastics. My friend Bobby is doing basketball. I want to be with both of them. Can I do both? I don't know. Can you? Between homework, between running to this activity, to that activity, and let's be honest, most activities are year-round sports, so they all require time. What about the fact that the kids are mentally exhausted? They get up in the morning, go to school, put a full day of work, come home, do a little bit of homework, get ready, go to soccer practice. Come home, get undressed, go to basketball practice. Come home, eat, go to bed. When do they get to relax? Okay? So, again, this video is a little bit all over the place. It's not scripted. I'm just trying to tell you guys what I think about what's going on. So, yes, it starts with the U.S. national team, and right now, we are in a mess. There's a lot of things that need to be changed in order for us to bounce back quickly and try now to qualify for the next World Cup, which is going to be, what, 2022, I guess, right? 2018 World Cup this summer. So the next one will be 2022. How about our best player, as far as I'm concerned, who's a 18-year-old, who I think just turned 19, Pulisic, I can never say that name, who basically did not play academy ball. He just played high school. He was good enough. He loved the sport. That's another thing. He loved the sport. A lot of kids play sports, soccer in particular, since we're talking about soccer, and they just play. It's okay. But they don't love it. They don't bleed for it. They don't think about it 24/7. They don't watch games on television. They don't come home and do extra touches, play with the ball all the time. They don't. And it's not just soccer. It's other sports as well. We got too many choices and our children are distracted all over the place. We do not have children that their passion is one thing. In other countries, soccer is passion. Soccer is life. In other countries, soccer is what baseball and football and basketball is to a lot of young Americans in the urban community. It's their way out of the ghetto. It's their way out to feed their family and make money. So kids play like there's no tomorrow. Kids play even at the backyard and playground games, they play like their lives, depend on it. In this country, we don't have that. Okay, there's very little urgency. Most players don't have that urgency. Most player does not have soccer in their heart. Most players don't wake up in the morning, Sunday morning, man, I got a soccer match. Brush their boots. Yeah? You go to play soccer, your boots, your shoes have to be polished and clean. Take pride in wearing that uniform. Okay? Have a good breakfast. Watch maybe a soccer match on television to get emotionally prepared. Visualize about that game that you're playing. We played that team, and I want to do a good job and have a great game. Show up early on the field. Smell the freshly cut grass on a fall Sunday, okay, or a spring Sunday. Feel it. Love the colors of the teams, the uniforms. Hear the ball being struck. Pop, 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 pop. Everything about soccer. Everything about soccer. We don't have that. That's how I grew up. Sunday, wow, game day. Played, listened to every, match that was, professional match that was being televised or on the radio. And even these days, for a lot of you guys that know me, come to my home. My DVR is always recording games. I'm a student of the game. I don't just watch games of the teams that I support. I watch soccer. I love to watch the game. I love to watch the game from a different perspective, obviously, since I've become a coach. Then I used to watch games, when I was younger from a soccer perspective. But I love to watch the game. I love everything about the sport. Now, don't get me wrong. I like other sports. I follow sports. But soccer is my sport of choice. It's my passion sport. Okay? I'll be honest with you. I'm cutting a few sports out. Okay? Things the way they're going. And again, these are personal opinions, and we're not going to get into that. But there are certain sports that, whatever. If I don't have to deal with them, I don't have to deal with them. Thank God for the Yankees. Okay? Go Yankees. Advanced. For those of you that are not Yankees fans, don't bash me. Okay? But you understand what I'm trying to say. Okay? Passion. Time spent away from structured training. Well, Soccer Skills is doing a free free futsal program. It's not, you don't have to pay for it. Your coach is not making you go. It's up to you. Most parents may say, well, it's not mandated. We don't have to go. It's, don't worry about it. And, what's going to happen is this. By the way, the first day that we announced it and we rolled it out and released it, there were 25 sign-ups on the first day. Okay? In fact, we put a limitation that you can only, the whole season, the whole indoor season is broken up in increments of 3 sessions. This way we can give everybody the chance who wants to try it and have fun with it to come. And not just have a bunch of players that are going to sign up for the whole, for the whole program and occupy all the space. We want to give everybody, or as many people as possible, the opportunity to experience futsal. And being that, we're picking up the bill for everything, I don't know if you guys have checked, but indoor space rentals, it's not cheap. So we're trying to give the opportunity for everybody to come and play. So with that being said, okay, there's going to be people who are going to sign up and then they're not going to come. Why? Because it's free. Because it didn't cost them any money. The more you charge, and I've noticed that throughout my career with Soccer Skills. Soccer Skills has been in existence now for 6 years. Officially as a business, and we love to thank our community for supporting us. And that's another reason why we're doing the futsal training, because we want to give back to the community, okay? But I've come to realize, because our pricing is not that high, a lot of people bail out. They sign up for programs, they pay that small fee, and they don't come to the training. And that irks me. And people say, well, why does it bother you? You guys get paid anyway. No, it's not about the money. When somebody signs up, I expect them to be there because it shows a commitment. It shows a commitment for the player that wants to be there, that comes to training, that looks in your eyes, and takes everything to give them. Every information that's given to that player, he or she absorbs it. They really want to be there. So paying the money is not a big deal. Being there is more important to me. However, for the programs that charge a lot more than us, Oh, there you go, because they paid. And, you know, it always presented the debate in my mind, should we just increase our prices and be like everybody else and get the better players? And then I always come back to the conclusion of no, okay? You want to go and be one of those elite programs because they charge so much money? Go ahead. There's a lot of children in the lower areas that there's a lot of rough diamonds. You'll find things in the lower levels, in the recreation program, in the lower levels of travel. You'll find a lot of kids, a lot of quality kids, if you look for them. So our goal is to maintain a training program year-round at very, very low prices so everybody can enjoy it. You know, give quality training, as I believe that we do. And then hopefully, at some point, parents will educate themselves and make better decisions. I'm not saying that you guys are not making good decisions now, okay? But there are a lot of you that are missing the boat, okay? So we want to help. We want to help with that. We want to help as much as possible. And again, life happens. Every family has multiple, you know, parents are working multiple jobs, multiple siblings, and it's hard to do all this. We're just trying to do our part. So this conversation has gone from the national team to what's going on in the grassroots system. And I believe there's a lot common ground. So we're going to try to do our part and hopefully aid the younger players, because don't forget, some of the players now that are in the under 17s, under 18s, under 19s, under 20 teams, okay, by the time the next World Cup comes, they will be 21, 22, 23, 24 years old. Hopefully, our national team in the U.S. system will take some of the younger players and let them play. This way, by the time the next World Cup qualification starts and the next World Cup comes, those players are seasoned enough to be able to participate in that tournament. Because right now, you got a bunch of, you know, players on the national team. In my opinion, they don't belong there anymore. Not they had their day. They had their day. They're way past with their day. There's a lot of good soccer players that should be pushed up. That's my opinion, okay? So again, by doing our part in the youth level, in the grassroots level, hopefully these, you know, the today's 7, 8, 9-year-olds will be, you know, the 14, 15, 16-year-olds of the next World Cup where, you know, they might have a possibility or an opportunity to get into the system, okay? So we want to do our part for that. But let me leave you with one thought in mind. No matter what I tell you on this video, no matter what my thoughts are, you're going to do what you're going to do. And most of you are missing the boat. Most of you don't understand what I'm saying. Most of you, it goes over your head. Most of you don't understand that it's not up to you, it's not up to me, it's up to your child.